The burning question as I see it, was the jury biased against Jose because he was a teenager from an ethnic minority group? People from minority racial groups are discriminated against all the time at all levels of the justice system, the police, the courts, and the prison system. Youth from ethnic minorities are often perceived to be troublemakers and potential gang members. People naturally fear them. The stats on ethnic youth crime aren't pretty. Ethnic minorities are massively overrepresented across the justice system. A number of recent surveys have shown that there are profound racial disparities in the juvenile justice system. Youth from ethnic minority groups are more likely to be searched and apprehended by police. They're more likely to be put in locked facilities, to be found guilty by juries, to receive longer sentences, and on and on and on. Whereas youth from more privileged backgrounds are often let off with just a warning for the same crimes. Much of the concern about gangs is a misunderstanding of the nature of youth subcultures. Gangs are technically defined as people who band together for the purposes of criminal activity. In the 1950s, teenagers gathered to partake in quite innocent recreational activities, such as going to the milk bar or the movies, smoking, driving around in souped-up cars, and dancing to rock and roll. While they became known as a menace to society by the older generation, the 1950s teenage subculture was mostly shaped by fashion and music rather than crime. Was Jose a gang member, as was insinuated in his trial? We know that he was from an ethnic minority group. He was 18 years old, from the poor side of town, from a single-parent household. To add to that, he was out with friends on the street at night, carrying knives and getting into trouble at a very young age. These conditions are typically known as red flags for gang crime. So while there was no hard evidence that Jose was in an ethnic gang, there was no evidence to the contrary.